And we're back. Oh my gosh, jet lag is finally done. It's been 2 days of feeling like I'm walking through concrete, but yes, back. And for this one, I'm going to tell you where I've been and what I've been up to. So missed last week's show, as you probably all saw. Sorry and very sad. Hope you enjoyed the Ben Grimm There's a Sad Thing picture we put out. But yeah, we're back. I have been overseas for the last couple of weeks, actually, and brought some things back with me. I was in London for 4 or 5 days en route to a business trip and was able to pick up a few things. So I thought I'd share those with you today. There was originally a show planned to cover off some very interesting Fourth World Kirby books, but I'll be saving that for a long form video, which will be coming soon. But it is fantastic to be back. After 2 days of full on jet lag, I am feeling a lot better. So yes, firing on all cylinders and feeling good. And some changes coming to the channel soon. I'll be working on those, and I've got a little bit of time with family over, so I will be doing a little bit more stuff and maybe changing a few things over. But it's great to see you all. Welcome to the show. This is the Merry Monday Mail Call Show, where I talk all things comics and share a lot of the books and different items that I've been picking up on my travels and also around Melbourne here in Australia. So welcome. It is probably the evening or afternoon where you are in the world. So apologies for the Merry Monday mail call. It is always a Sunday, but I like to host it first thing on a Monday for you all. So yes, let's say hello to the chat. We have a couple of people here. We've got Unhinged Ent. I'll need to catch the replay and watch live. Have a great show. Thank you and welcome to the show. And I look forward to seeing you on the replay. And Gav7843 liking the Forbidden Planet t-shirt. Well, I thought it was apt given I was in London. I have picked up another t-shirt, which I won't show today. But yes, it is. Went to Forbidden Planet, picked up a few things, and we'll be sharing some of those today. So yes, Forbidden Planet's still one of the great pop culture shops in London. If you're ever there, you need to check it out. It's not so much of a comic shop anymore. There are a huge ton of entertainment products in there. But yeah, the sort of comic days of our friends at Forbidden Planet has gone, unless you like moderns, and I do have some moderns to share from that too. I have comic issues. Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you? Really good to see you. I shall be joining your show later today. It is a public holiday here in Victoria as well. So I have the day to relax and get some more videos coming to you. Speaking of which, let's bring up, I want to share this with you. So it's been a little while since I did a full video, but this will be coming this next week. This is a great comic shop that I visited. It's going to be a long video, but it is, and as the title suggests, this place is amazing. Won't give too much away, but ended up walking away with a huge ton of books and a great conversation with the owner. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming this week. And there's a special secret for this one as well. So hopefully this will do well. But yes, I will be covering off one place, and if you've watched my previous videos on London, one place that I failed to get a chance to visit last time, made a special pilgrimage out there, and it was certainly worth the trip. So look forward to seeing you on that one. All right, let's bring the camera up so you can see exactly what I picked up this week. And we'll switch to the funky mode. The camera's a little dark, but I'm sure we'll survive. First thing I want to mention is this that I picked up. So you'll notice a change in my display. This I picked up from Forbidden Planet. This is a fantastic mouse mat featuring that Gaze into the Fist of Dread panel from Brian Bolland. Absolutely think this is fantastic. And this will be ongoing, my new display, I think, at the studio here. So just fabulous for displaying comics. A great image to have on the desk, looking and staring back at you. It even came with this Judge Death coaster, perfect for my morning coffee as you can see here. So that will stay there, and we'll go through some of the other things that I got. Before we get started as well, let's read the comments. So we've got Ross. Hi, Dave. Greetings from Ontario, California. Hello. Ontario, California. Yes, Ontario, California. Last year I was at that great Comic Con. I can't remember what it's called now. And enjoyed that very much. I love visiting California. So hopefully we'll get over there pretty soon. But welcome to the show. So what else did I pick up from Forbidden Planet? So picked up these lovely badges that are very 2000 AD related as well. So you can probably see if I zoom in a little bit for you. We've got a Judge Dredd enamel pin with the original beautifully designed Judge Dredd badge. We've got a Judge Death lapel pin with his logo. But the one that really surprised me and what really caught my eye is these fantastic Rogue Trooper biochips of the 3 troopers, helm, gun, and backpack. So, I mean, for those of you who know Rogue Trooper, you'll recognize these instantly. And I just thought that was fantastic. So we'll probably attach those to, I don't have a gun and I don't have a helmet. Well, I might put it on a cap, but certainly use backpack in my travels. But yeah, I picked those up. Then on top of that, limited edition replica badge of the Dredd badge itself. 5,000 of these were made. So I had to pick up one of those. A sort of beautiful looking Dredd badge there. There you go. I've got it in the light for you so you can really see it. Recreation of the original Judge Dredd badge that you would see in the comics. So loved picking that up. I thought that was a really good one to show. Those little collectibles look nice in the collection. I thought it would be good. And we have Derek here too. Hello, Derek. Great to see you, mate. So yeah, that's the Tranquilments that I picked up. Let's move that out of the way so we get the real full power of gaze into the face of Fist of Dread. Now I'll give it a little bit of a sneak peek to the content that's going to come up in the video for the London comic shop that I visited. There are 3 copies. These ones are not. I bought a big stack of Marvel UK books, and these 3 were included in that stack, but they were not. As you can see here, there's some water damage, black mold, so these won't be sitting in any collection. But this is a good example of these Marvel UK reprints that you would see. This is issue 134 of the Avengers and the Savage Sword of Conan, an interesting mix there, from April 1976. So you get great John Buscema, Dragon and the Inland Sea, Conan the Barbarian story there. Roy Thomas, obviously, on writing duties. And alongside the Mighty Avengers, Stan Lee, editor, Roy Thomas and John Buscema, again, on art. So we're eating good here with these Marvel reprints. And as you can see, all in black and white. No zipper tone on these, so just pure recreations in black and white. And then to close us out, a nice bit of Chris Claremont and John Byrne from the Iron Fist run that he did there. And as you can see, early John Byrne art, back when he was still finding his style, but stunning stuff. Here was the inker. It was Frank Chiaramonte, and some great little presentation here. But still unmistakably John Byrne. And then last but not least, you get a Gary Friedrich and Herb Trimpe, the Phantom Eagle story there as well. But as you can see, a little bit of water damage here. So I didn't put these with the main collection. So stay tuned for that video where I'll be going through exactly what I picked up and how much these cost, because it will absolutely astound you in terms of... and then we have copy of issue 132 from March 27th, 1976. Again, more of the same. Conan by Roy Thomas and John Buscema, with John Costanza, and actually inked by John Buscema in this instance. We've got the Mighty Avengers, the Sword and the Sorceress, Roy Thomas and John Buscema again with Tom Palmer on inks. Fabulous. And again, get to enjoy in its Marvel UK black and white wonder with, I believe, Thunder in this as well. And then that great splash page from John Byrne there. Always did great splash pages on that Iron Fist run. So again, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and absolutely great stuff. And there's a Phantom Eagle by Gary Friedrich and Herb Trimpe. So you got a decent whack of content for your 8p back in the day. Love the reason for these. And again, not in great shape. You can see a little bit of damage on the bottom there. So these are nice little reader copies to add. Keep separate from the others because of the black mold, I'm afraid. But there we have it. Avengers and the Savage Shonen Canon, number 133 from April 3rd, 1976. More of the same. What I will show you, though, is this page here. This splash page, which it's the second part of the story that would have been reprinted in the US. So what they had to do in the Marvel UK days was they would create a new splash page to be able to be used in instances like this to help the story along. So this is brand new art created for Marvel UK by the US office, and a page that wouldn't appear in any of the US stories. So another splash page just created specifically for the UK comics. So let's just have a quick look through this. And again, John Buscema on art and Roy Thomas on lettering, but all inked by John Buscema in this instance here, as you can see. We've got the Mighty Avengers again, and another one of these with a newly created page to support the story. So another one of those splash pages created specifically for Marvel UK. Roy Thomas, John Buscema, again with Tom Palmer on inks. And another new panel page created specifically for the comic book. Now, I don't think that this is John Byrne. So whilst we do credit John Byrne here, this is not a John Byrne page that I think of. As you can see, the change in art style is quite different between the two. So obviously a new page with new text added to support the Marvel UK stories. And let me see if we do. This one is in terrible shape. As you can see, it's got a big hole in the back cover. But nonetheless, great to be able to pick these up. Hope you enjoyed that. Now back to Forbidden Planet. I picked up a bunch of these. The Muppets Noir, which is by Roger Langridge, who did the Muppets back in the early 2000s. And I picked this up after seeing it on John and Richard's show, and a whole bunch of variants that I'll take you through in a second. But essentially, Kermit gets knocked out and then starts retelling this story of the Muppets Noir. Not in black and white, but there is a black and white background. So great to see the Muppets, and I thought I'd pick this up, especially the first issue. I thought that would be very super interesting for you all. Just 1 second. Let me grab something else just very quickly. There you go. Okay. Now, this wasn't the reason. So obviously I'm going to try and get some artwork done by Roger himself if I get a chance. But I also picked up a whole bunch of these signed copies that were in Gosh Comics, another comic shop in London, which is a little closer to a sort of, you know, your traditional comic book store with some vintage books. It does have a whole bunch of moderns, but it did have these signed copies on the shelf. So I picked that up. So signed by Roger Langridge himself. So that is the A cover, I believe. And then I picked up this copy, I think, of the B cover with Kermit on the front. And again, cover by Roger Langridge. Got the black and white sketch variant signed by Roger. And then the Virgin variant, again, signed by Roger. So all 4 of these Muppet Noir books, I don't know, there's a bit of the glare there, sorry. All 4 of these great Roger Langridge comic covers, all signed, direct off the shelf. So fantastic stuff. So super happy to pick those up. Very, very good indeed. Whilst I was in Forbidden Planet, picked up this cardstock variant of Nice House by the Sea issue 7 as well. For those of you who've been watching the channel, I've been reading this series for a long time. This is James Tynan IV with Martinez Bueno on art, Alvaro Martinez Bueno on art, and colouring by Jordi Belair, who I've been following for the longest time when she started work on, excuse me, Nowhere Men, which is one of my favourite titles, which I'll be doing a video on in the future. But beautiful art on the interiors and a great story. If you haven't read it, I'd urge you to do this. Nice House by the Sea and Nice House by the Lake. Captain UK has joined us. Hello, mate. Great to see you. Obviously missed you whilst I was in the UK, but welcome to the show. But I'll show you a bit of the interiors and hear why this is such a great book. Just look at the colours and the artwork here. And as I say, I won't give too much away on the story, but it's just a fabulous book, fabulous story. Really enjoying this, and I think just a great title. And as you can see here, beautifully illustrated. Just a great read. If you haven't picked it up already, I'd urge you to go and grab A Nice House by the Sea. This next one is a fascinating one. I believe this is issue 2. Let me check. That's right. This one I picked up at a UK auction house. This one I picked up during the recent sale at Excalibur Auctions. And this is Groovy, which is a Marvel comic that not a lot of people know about. But it wasn't published by Marvel, but it's actually Atlas Magazines in 1968. So March 1968. Nice comic format. I just loved the look of this. And hadn't seen these before, so I wanted to pick them up and do a little bit of a study on it. But essentially, they're a whole bunch of gags and jokes and cartoons with various, let's just see here, Charles Goodman, editorial director, comics to cartoons to blow your mind. So just nice little snapshot of, you know, other avenues that Marvel and Atlas at the time were publishing. And you get the monkeys and the Beatles there, freak out funnies. Get these little sort of Sonny and Cher trying to appeal to the obviously the pop culture at the time. A whole bunch of these cartoons throughout and different stories. So I thought that was just an interesting one. And then you've got Johnny Carson doing Misery as a blind date. So the guest writers as well. Some very interesting little pieces in there. So that's Groovy number 1. And then I also picked up Groovy number 2. So Mr. McGroovy, I'm sure, will leave a comment because he will need to pick up these to go for his collection. I think it was only like a handful of these Groovies that got released. But just really nice to be able to pick these up. Question from Ross. Did you take any video inside Forbidden Planet? Would love to see what it's like. I didn't take any video this time, Ross, but I do have a video that you can go back and check, and I will leave a link in the description later on to that video where I covered in detail the Forbidden Planet. Did a visit last year to Forbidden Planet and the various London comic shops, so you can check that out and have a look. Those Groovies are a rare find. Not seen them for years. Thank you, sir. And I had never seen them, so absolutely happy to be able to pick these up and have them in the collection. As I say, not really my usual bag, but just fabulous seeing them and seeing the other types of content that our friends at Marvel will be putting out. But yeah, it's a bit of a rare find, as you say. So really enjoying going through this and checking them out. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold after traveling. And so, yeah, just check these out. They're just absolutely fantastic. So a nice little catch. Don't think I'll be chasing anything super high grade, but just nice to have in the collection. As I say, photographs never really worked too well on newsprint, but just a nice little thing to add to the collection. So that's your Groovies. Next, you would have seen this on my Star Wars video recently. This is Pizzazz issue 1. Now, I already own this, but this was in a joint lot, and you'll see why I wanted this book, because it came with another one. But this is Pizzazz Marvel magazine from 1977, Star Wars related. This is issue 1. You get a great Star Wars article by Katie Hall, so you get to see the usual stuff, sports extra, let the world know you have Pizzazz. And again, beautifully presented. It was an interesting one. I'm not sure who they were appealing to, but it was a real mix of different content throughout this book. You get some classic Marvel pieces in here. So Doctor Doom cracks up. So jokes from Doctor Doom and Spider-Man. Put Pizzazz in your life all year long. A little attachment. You've got a compute code with Silver Surfer. Some more puzzles with Sonny and Cher drawn there, and then Spidey's Maze. Great one. I don't think I actually went through the book last time, so this is a bit of an interesting one for everyone to check out. So more puzzles with Spidey. You can find various characters. So the puzzles aren't being completed, which is always a good thing. And then an ad for the Completely Marvelous collection of stories. We got an article on Kiss, which at the time they were doing a lot of work with Marvel. You got a pull-out personality poster with Charlie's Angels. It's still got the attachment here for the Hey Kids. This is the October. We've got a Bugs cartoon, literary landscapes article. There's your Pizzazz sensational subscription form, the answers to your puzzles. But the bit that's really interesting about this book is the strips that you got. So you get Young Tarzan. So this is Roy Thomas, drawings by John Buscema and Ernie Chan. So you get Young Tarzan, just a one-pager there. But it's this that is the important one. This is a Star Wars story by Roy Thomas and Howard Chaykin and Tony DeZuniga, doing the first story post the adaptation of Star Wars. So this is the first story. It's only been reprinted in Marvel UK books and a couple of later reprints. But it's, as I say, a 3-page story which went through the whole of Pizzazz throughout. But you get to see this first original expanded universe stories from Star Wars. And again, continuation. And again, if you want to check out my video, I've got a little bit more detail on the Star Wars expanded universe post the first adaptation. And this issue is a key one. So whenever I see it, I pick it up just purely for that. And again, if you're lucky, you still get to keep your Pizzazz iron-on transfer here, where you could make your own letters. I've got I'm and I've got Pizzazz. And you have other letters that you could add to your t-shirt. But that's usually cut out and not used. So keep that if you can find it. Then an advertisement for Marvel Comics, America's #1 in superheroes, announces the greatest space fantasy film of all collector's items. So the 2 Marvel Special Edition Treasury books, advertisement there. Reviews and previews are almost at the end of the book here. So there you have it. But then it's nice to see on a magazine the giant Spalding ads that you would see on those books. But it's in decent shape. Not sure I'll get this one graded. But still great to have another copy of Pizzazz issue 1 in the collection. But the reason why I bought it is because it came with this. Now, this is Cream issue 4. And this is a fabulous John Romita Sr. cover. It's now Spider-Man and the Marvel Comics Group. So this was a rock and roll magazine, sort of a little bit like Rolling Stone. Don't know too much about Cream, but again, that logo, I do remember seeing this a few times. But it does have an article on Spider-Man and the Marvel Comics Group, alongside a whole bunch of other pop related. So you can see it's all very pop music. John from Bronze and Modern Gods would, I'm sure, have a lot of stories to tell about this, given his love of music. So yeah, very, very late I think the year of this was April 1973. So right in that classic 70s era. Won't be sticking on that page. But you get this great article, and now Spider-Man in the Marvel Comics Group by Mike Barron, which is a bit of a study of the Marvel Age of Comics and a bit of a background. But check out that Spider-Man photo on the roof there. It's just a nice little pickup. I'm going to see if I can get a higher grade copy of this because it's not in great shape, but it covers off, obviously, Stan Lee and the Marvel bullpen. Nice little article on that. And then a bit of a deeper dive into things, the characters, heroes and villains. But I love this over here. Know ye these, the hallowed ranks of Marveldom. So RFO, Real Frantic One, a buyer of at least 3 Marvel mags a month. TTB, Titanic True Believer, a divinely inspired no prize winner. So Gary from Tales from the Spinner Rack would be one of those. He's a Titanic True Believer, according to this. You've got QNS, Quite Nuff Sayer, a Fortunate Frantic One who's had a letter printed. I know a number of you probably had that. Keeper, a KOF, a Keeper of the Flame, one who recruits a newcomer to Marvel's rollicking ranks. So I think I count myself in that, Keeper of the Flame. Permanent, or PMM, Permanent Marvelite Maximus, anyone possessing all 4 of the other titles. Again, I probably would count myself in that. And then lastly, an FFF, Fearless Front Facer, an honorary title bestowed to a devotion to Marvel above and beyond the call of duty. So I think anyone reading Marvel today, particularly vintage stuff, well, maybe even the modern stuff, you'd count yourself in there. But check this out. Absolutely gorgeous. Utilizing a whole bunch of art from throughout the comic books. Just a nice little pastiche of Galactus, the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Thor. Just nice little poster. So glad that that's still in the middle. And then a whole bunch of the characters, as I say, Hulk, Silver Surfer, Namor, to name but a few. So if you can find it, great little article to pick up. And it does finish towards the end of the book, but I won't go through it too much. But worth it alone just for that fabulous cover and the interior. So check it out. Cream issue 4 from 1973. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Back to UK books. I got myself a copy of the second arc of The Ballad of Halo Jones, Alan Moore. Awesome stuff. Halo Jones has sort of dropped off the radar a little bit. And again, it's one of those great stories by Alan Moore and Ian Gibson on art back in the day. It's still got its little insert for the Heritage British cards to there. But just, again, if you can go back and collect these sub 400 issues or sub 500 issues of 2000 AD are sort of the sweet spot for me. With some great stories on the interior. Got Rogue Trooper story there. What else do we have in here? Obviously, we have a Judge Dredd with Ron Smith on art, and T.B. Grover, who was actually Alan Grant under a pseudonym, I believe. And there's a 2000 AD story for you. Sorry, a Judge Dredd story for you. Nemesis the Warlock, Pat Mills, Brian Talbot on art there. More interesting stuff. Hell Trekkers. Who's behind this? So, don't know. F. Martin Candor. I think that might be a pseudonym again. But I'm sure someone in the chat will keep me honest. But yeah, nice to be able to pick that up. Great cover of Halo Jones there. Yeah, thought I would pick that up. That one I got from the comic shop. This one is, I bought this for a specific reason. This is issue 414, but this is the issue that came with the Masters of the Universe sticker album. And I have the sticker album and I have the original wrapper, but I do not have the comic book. So I found this for £1 and picked it up. So I will be putting that together and selling it as a package because I've been missing this issue. I've got the issue myself, but I didn't have a spare one to be able to add to it. So now this completes that. And again, you get Alan Moore and Ian Gibson's Ballad of Halo Jones, second issue, second part. You get a Slain story in here. What else do you get? Another Ron Smith, Judge Dredd story. T.B. Grover, Alan Grant. And look at that for a page. How do you like that? Awesome stuff. And again, you would not normally find these in the US, so I always pick them up when I'm over in the UK. My 2000 AD collection is pretty much complete, but I am picking up little bits and pieces when I see key issues lying around like this. Brian's here. Hello, Brian. Great to see you, mate. Welcome to the show. Hope you are well. And Hank Wagner, hello. Welcome. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like them, sir. Always a pleasure bringing this stuff back and sharing with you all. And there's Hell Trekkers and a bit of Rogue Tree. But I had a nice little pin up on the back there of Judge Anderson. So that's that. I do have a copy that was sitting at my mum's house, and I didn't even realize I'd ordered this. But I've got multiple copies of this now, so I will be selling a few of my under copies of these. But these are tough books to find. This is issue 388 of Marvel Superheroes from 1982. Bit of a bit of an unassuming cover. But what is within here is a very key issue of the Captain Britain storyline. This is the beginning of Jasper's Warp by Alan Moore and Alan Davis, that classic story. And I've done a recent video on this. So if you haven't already checked that out, go and check it out, because this is the starting point of this. The second appearance of the Fury. Fury appears in 387. This, basically, Alan Moore picked up the story that had been started of Captain Britain, and essentially this issue, in 2 issues of taking it over, he killed Captain Britain's companion Jackdaw, and Captain Britain is now conversing with the mad Jim Jaspers, reality warping mutant. And as you can see here, basically Captain Britain is severely injured and finds himself in a graveyard, and in said graveyard are a number of dead old British heroes, including a certain Miracle Man within there. So first appearance of Miracle Man in comics under the Miracle Man name. And as I say, this was quite shocking at the time. Literally, Alan Moore had taken over the story, and within 2 issues, kills Captain Britain. Fury destroys Captain Britain. And Captain UK, Linda McQuillan, is shivering in another universe. And Captain Britain is destroyed over in her supposed grave. But that story continues in Daredevil's issue 1. But just shocking at the time that obviously the main character completely destroyed. But a great book. Seek it out if you can, because it's early Alan Moore, early Alan Davis, and just the start of one of the most amazing comic book runs, and the start of Earth 616 in the Marvel Universe. So yeah, grab a copy of that if you ever see it. It's a tough book to get in high grade in particular. Coming up to the end of the books that I picked up, this one probably means nothing to everybody else, but it means something to me. This is Speed, which I used to pick up and was in my dad's newsagents at the time. This one I'd read reasonably a lot, but the reason why I would read it is for this story, which I absolutely love. This was Blake Edmonds. He's a guy who gets really disfigured, but has a death wish. So he drives super fast, and the story of him and how basically as a race driver, he gets massively scarred and then has no fear. And essentially it's the story of him racing a whole bunch of different cars, and he wears this mask, but underneath it shows his massively disfigured face. And I always found that a very interesting storyline. The rest of it, not entirely convinced. Didn't really stick around for a lot of this stuff. You got stories like Journey to the Stars, the £1 million challenge, And it was sort of very much your boy's own story, but Death Wish was the one that stuck with me. A lot of vehicles they'd show off. But yeah, Death Wish was the one for me. But again, this is no puzzles completed inside. Got the fastest footballer on Earth. A few World of Sport images. So it's a real mix of content. But it was that Death Wish story that got me. Baker's Half Dozen, War Story. It's a nice little mix. If you used to enjoy Speed, let me know. I'm going to try and track down the rest of them. I'm not sure how long it ran. I should do a bit of research on these because I literally picked them up just because of that Death Wish memory. And again, you've got Death Wish on the front cover here of the issue the following week. And let me see if there's a picture of Blake Edmonds with his mask off. Unfortunately not. But he was quite disfigured underneath. But yeah, just great to be able to pick these up. Not puzzles completed. And I'll do a little bit of digging. Might do a feature on Speed because Death Wish was such a little thing for me. I really enjoyed that story. But yeah, brilliant art, beautifully presented. So obviously they had a decent art team on there. No credits, unfortunately. But you can see the Speed was all about cars, planes, boats, you name it. But yeah, great little pickup for me. Nice little hark back to the early 80s here. Yeah, nice little book to add to the mix there. But I will finish off, which follows on from my free gift issue. So I showed this on my free gift issue. This is StarLord issue 1. It's got these beautiful badges, hollow badges. This is issue 1. This is the first Strontium Dog and the first Roadbusters, which went on to become ABC Warriors, the story game 2000 AD. So only Strontium Dog and ABC and Roadbusters moved across. But these badges, one of the viewers was very kind to let me know that these were designed by Kevin O'Neill. And this is the Time Warden one. Now, this is the one I had in my collection up until that point. But whilst I was in London, I picked up a whole batch of them. So I got a beautiful looking copies of StarLord issue 1, but this time with StarLord Trooper Skate Force, Skateboard Strike Force. That one I really, really love. There were 6 of these in total, so I've now got 4 of them. Need to finish off the collection. I will be getting these graded. I'm not sure how CGC is going to treat these with them stuck to the page, but we'll see. This one's loose, so I'm not sure I will submit that one. But these are all, their adhesive is still intact. The badge is still in its original place and in just stunning shape, as you can see. So that's the Skateboard Strike Force. Then I also got the Laser Specialist, and as I say, these are being reprinted, I believe, by Rebellion. Redesigns of the Kevin O'Neill, sorry, original badges. Just look at that; they're just absolutely stunning things. So great to be able to have the originals still stuck to the cover. And as you can see, these are in beautiful shape. So yeah, they will be certainly up for consideration for grading with CGC, especially given their significance with the first 2 stories. And then the last one for this week's show is another copy, this time with the pilot badge on it, and get a little closer look at that. But they're just stunning, absolutely stunning. I just love, back in the day when, foil badges, you wouldn't get these. So these great stickers, and the fact that they're still intact, still on the cover, and the books are immaculate. It's fantastic stuff. So super happy to pick that up, and a nice little haul to start us back off with. So hope you enjoyed that, folks. It's been great being back with you. Yeah, absolutely fabulous time. I will be back next week with more hauls from the collection, so you'll be able to see what's arrived whilst I was away as well. And stay tuned for that video of me covering all of the London books that I picked up at that amazing store, and the background and inside story on that great store. But yes, I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care of yourselves. It's been an absolute joy. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Yes, amazing condition for those StarLords. I agree. They blew me away. So super happy to be able to pick them up. I will see you all either on the long form or live next week. But thank you all for joining. Hopefully everyone stay safe and be well. And I will see you all next week. Take care of yourselves.